Thanks for watching Bumbling Butterfly. This week, I do a ton of food prep, and I have videos of all the meals I did. I did some really interesting, fun meals, so I did have that, and I did do a movie review of a very cool animated movie, super different than any animated movie I've seen. So I have the trailer for that and a movie review this week on Bumbling Butterfly. Life update. You can see I'm like a sweaty mess right now. It's like 1,000,000 degrees. I showered this morning and I'm still like a sweaty mess. But I wanted to sit in this really comfy chair, put my feet up, so doing the life update from here. I was going to be very efficient and put all my laundry away that I did yesterday. Yay. So that's one life update, is that I got all my laundry done yesterday. I was going to put it away today because I got home late last night, but I got an unexpected job interview today, so I did that. And now I have to put my groceries away. But, so that was very efficient too. So stay tuned for that. I should find out next week-ish. I think they seemed really impressed. It was a downtown LA middle school, so it's really interesting. I've never taught middle school classes, but it's English, so that's where I'm at right now. I did some budgeting and kind of figuring out if I get a certain salary, like how much to save and to pay dad back and all of that, so that was also very efficient. So I think I'm in a good place right now. My hair is a little wonky. I have not combed it today, so this is just bedhead. Gonna look so awesome. But I am food prepping my stew for this week. So I'm doing a pot roast stew, which includes kind of like a bunch of leftover vegetables that I've had. Like, I had like corn and frozen vegetables from other stuff. And then I bought some sweet potatoes and carrots, and because my crock pot isn't big enough to put everything in there, I'm steaming the sweet potatoes and carrots themselves and just kind of having that as like my base. Like, I'll put everything else on top of it. That'll go into my Tupperware dishes, and then as soon as I finish steaming those, I'll plug in my crock pot and do the chuck roast on low for like 8 hours type of thing. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll do that tomorrow morning. I'll fix that. So, yeah, here is the sweet potatoes steaming. It looks kind of gross from this angle because there's stuff. The reason that there's stuff all around the edges was I put like oil over them and then I shook them to coat the oil well. So it looks kind of weird that there's like chunks flying everywhere. Like a blender went off. But yeah, those are my sweet potato chopped up and put in my steamer. Kudos for Nats for giving me a steamer. Yay. I just partitioned the sweet potato as like the base of my meals into 5 bowls. The quantities are a little uneven, and I'm about to steam the carrots because it won't all fit into my crock pot. So I'm doing these as the base, and again, that stuff on the side is the oil sauce that I made for them. So just some spices and butter. So I'm just going to steam the carrots, and then I'm going to set the meat on low overnight. And then I'll add some canned corn and frozen veggies at the end. So I put the chuck roast in my slow cooker with some taco seasonings to give it some spice and some other spices. So it's going to do overnight, 8 hours on low. And then I'm going to add some frozen veggies to it afterwards when I pull apart the pork. But yeah, should be good. So remember how big the thing was in there? It barely fit the crock pot. It definitely shrunk a little bit, but it's super moist. I mean, look at this. I can pull it apart with my fork. Like, it's crazy. Try some of this meat. Very tasty. Super butter sauce. Yum. This is it, all chopped up. I thought it was going to be a lot more beef. I think all the fat and everything cooked down and it shrunk. So it's not as much beef as I thought. So now I'm going to put that in these. So now this is the au jus, the sauce. And I'm doing this, right? And then I'm putting it over the stuff. And this is all of mine. Now I'm just splitting up the sauce over everything else. I had a whole bunch of leftover frozen veggies that I've been meaning to use, but I keep forgetting. I just burped, sorry. But I'm making my breakfast for each morning, and it's going to have a whole avocado to add creaminess. I don't know why this is backwards. Almond milk, frozen berries, and then I have some agave. So you have some agave down in the bottom, and then there's frozen berries. And then I blend it into a yummy smoothie. That's my breakfast each morning. So this is what it looks like. Yum. And I'm just having this. This is my breakfast. Mmm. Yummy, yummy. I'll probably add a little bit more milk. I have a mustache. Because it's very like gelatinous. I think I'm going to add a little bit more milk. But it was really good. It has some agave in it to sweeten it, just a hint. And this one I did frozen mixed berries. And then I also have frozen strawberries. But the frozen, it's triple berries. It's blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. And then I have frozen strawberries. Just, to switch it up a little. It also has an avocado in it. And some almond milk. So, yum. So, for lunch, this is like one of my cheap, not super healthy. It's not super unhealthy, but sort of cheap, quick ways and very sort of American stereotypical. But I make grilled cheeses. I have a very special way that I make grilled cheeses. And I get some sort of like instant red pepper and tomato bisque, and I dip a grilled cheese into there. So this is that process. So step one, I toast the bread so they're somewhat already pre-toast, because if you just put butter or whatever on the toast and then do it, it tends to come out mushy. Like you have to cook it longer for it not to be mushy. So I pre-toast it to already kind of give it like a certain stiffness. And then I put in the middle, usually I do chipotle mayo because I like it slightly spicy, but I ran out of that. So I'm doing regular mayo on the inside just to give it flavor and to add some healthy fats. And then I put 2 slices of cheese. I was using cheddar cheese this week, but I have American cheese now. And then on the outside, so then I'd have that like that. And then on the outside, I'd put butter. And then I grill it on my George Foreman grill. So that's sort of the prep work. So I'll show you when the sandwich is all built. So this is what it looks like before I put it in. It looks kind of gross with the butter. But inside is the cheese and the mayonnaise. And then I put some salt and pepper inside so it kind of sticks to the mayonnaise inside. And then I open this. And I have to put some paper towels underneath because otherwise the butter melts and drip. I open this. And then I put this straight down on here. And then I flip it halfway through. And I go like that. And then I just wait, and it's already dripping. I have to put some towels down. This is why I need to put towels down. It used to have like a little container that you put underneath it, but in one of my moves, I lost the container. So anyways, this is what I do now. And then I just add more towels as I need to. So this melts the cheese like super fast. So then what I do is I flip it. But I put it like this to kind of even out. Part of me is OCD, so I like getting like the crisscross of the jaw lines, but also just because it gets different temperatures on different part of it, so I like to flip the direction, and then I put it down for another minute or two. and squeeze to kind of just get that cheese nice and melted to both sides. So now that it's out of my George Foreman grill, that's what it looks like. I dip it in my soup. And take a bite. Super kind of struggle meal, but yummy. These are my snacks. This is my favorite brand of protein bowls because they're plant-based. And they generally tend to be gluten-free or super low in gluten, so they don't make me like die. And yeah, they're super good. And yeah, I also get Quest bars sometimes, but I like these. They're the least points on Weight Watchers because it's somewhat low sugar. So a lot of protein bars are like 10 points or something on Weight Watchers, but these are like 4 or 5 points depending on the flavor. So yeah, those are my snacks for the week. Movie review. So this is an HBO. I'm sure it came out in theaters or what. Like it's an independent film, so I'm sure it came out in some theaters, but it is on HBO. FYI, and it's called Flow. It's an animated feature, but this was amazing. I didn't mean to get sucked into it because I actually had to pee, and I thought it was just like a show, and I just immediately got sucked into it. It's Latvian, which is random because I didn't even know they have a film industry, and it won an Academy Award. It beat out all of like the big like industry busters like Disney and things like that, like, and it's just like this indie company out of Latvia, and everyone went crazy for it, and it's on HBO now. And I think they said they're trying to make it come to theaters too because everyone loves it, and it's animated, but the animation is very like old school animation, and it's really, really cool. It's about this cat. There's no dialogue. There's like the sounds the animals make, and there's the sounds of nature, and then there's a really, really pretty like classical soundtrack. And what's really cool about it is there's never been another movie that doesn't have dialogue that I don't think is super boring and campy and whatever. And I honestly think that the fact that they're realistic animals that don't talk make it what it is, because you see their genuine curiosity and their genuine personalities as real animals. And I don't want to give away too much, but it's about a cat who lives in like post-apocalyptic Earth, and they don't really go into what happened, but the infant I made was that it wasn't long enough for nature to completely have taken over, like he finds houses, but it was enough that there were no humans left, and a lot of the outside of buildings were kind of taken over, so I think something happened. There was a nature element, so I think it was making a comment that global warming happened and kind of ruined the earth for humans and made it unsustainable. So humans perished, and nature's just starting to find its way back. And and so I think my inference is that it's probably within like 10, 20 years of humans being gone, because some of the resources are still left that wouldn't be there if it was like hundreds of years later. So I think it's probably like within a couple decades of humans being gone. And you don't run into any humans, it's all wild animals, which is really cool. And I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought it was going to be really dumb. But the amount of emotion and personality in these animals is ridiculous. Really good movie for like Earth Day. And if you like animals, holy shit, they have, and I actually looked it up. They said they have animals from every continent to make it like a ambiguous humanity story, as opposed to, because we were trying to figure out like where are they, because it starts off, it looks like they're in like a jungle, but then there's lemurs. We're like, well, that's Madagascar. And then suddenly it looks like they're like in Thailand by like deserted monk temples, and they're like in like the mountains. And then suddenly there's like capybara, which I think is in like South America, and then there's like these weird cranes that look like they're in like China. Like, so I think they literally and then there's like koi fish swimming around next to them, so I'm like, where did that come from? And so yeah, so I think it's supposed to be like an ambiguous message for all of humanity, which it definitely is. And it is a very pointed message. If you don't like movies that critique society, you might not like it. But I think kids will love it because it's really cute animals. And I think it gives you a lot to think about. So, yeah, I would definitely give this a 10 out of 10. I never thought I'd give an animated movie 10 out of 10. But kudos to Dave for putting it on and tricking me into watching it. Well, not tricking me, but I got distracted and watched it. So, yeah, definitely 2 thumbs up. For the final thought, kind of goes along with the movie review, and because it made me think, so it is this quote: "The future belongs to the curious, the ones who are not afraid to try it, explore it, poke at it, question it, and turn it inside out." And I like this quote because in the movie, the cat's super curious and is afraid at first, but then kind of follows its curiosity down a new path and just, creates a new friend group and finds its new life and kind of finds its purpose. And I really think people should follow that, should follow suit, right? That if they're curious about something, to not be afraid to follow paths set in front of them. And you definitely find your purpose in unexpected ways, right? My mantra, going along with the idea of curiosity and unexpected things, has always been, sometimes the unexpected and scariest things in life turn out to be better than anything we could have planned. And I think this goes hand in hand with the quote I chose for this week, because the cat obviously didn't expect what happened to it. It was happy to just roll up on a couch and kind of do its thing as a cat, and it got thrown into craziness. So, and it ended up finding its purpose and finding friends. So, I think we can all take a lesson from that. Thank you for watching Bumbling Butterfly. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Thank you.